Hi all, welcome back to more of the other side of the hill solo. It's my part 19 now. I didn't get the chance to get to the table yesterday, but so a couple of days went by, I think, only. There's been quite a few comments though, and let's quickly go over a few things. First of all, and I had to look over this again because I thought I thought Carlos might have got this wrong, but he didn't. How dare I criticise say the designer got something wrong? um, he comments. This is from part 15. He says, "I'm afraid you were agonising unnecessarily over that reroll in Turkey. You were defending, and one recognisability can only be applied when attacking." So he says you can go ahead and recover that air naval control point in the southern front. And this is a one that I re-rolled the dice, forgot about the ability to re-roll. Well, what I thought was the ability to re-roll the Allied combat roll. Then went back to do it because it didn't benefit the Allies and thought, well, I should have. But I genuinely forgot. And then decided afterwards that I probably shouldn't have done that because... if I forget, then it should just be left at that because it doesn't really balance out. However, he pointed out that this was when attacking, and we were defending. Yeah, I just wanted to double check. Yeah, it was in Turkey, and it was defending. Let me just be absolutely sure that we are right here. Hang on. Yeah, so it was right. We were defending in Turkey. It was a Western offensive. So they were attacking, and I thought about re-rolling the dice, wasn't sure, eventually done it. Now I'm only going to benefit from this if he's attacking in any terrain. He was defending, so we shouldn't have even been considering re-rolling that dice. So, the problem is things have went by quite a bit. Now I could bump this back up by one, but I sort of feel like too much times went by, and it could have been. I know we had this at a 5 at one point, so I'm sort of reluctant to move it back up. So I'm just going to leave it, I think, even though that reroll shouldn't have happened. But anyway, thanks for. There's quite a few rules in this game, and I'm not knocking the rules. Right, hang on. Right, not sure where I was there. I got dragged away for a moment, or 15 minutes or so. So we were talking about this re-roll that I shouldn't have done, and should we take this point back, and I'm just going to leave it. Right, okay. Carlos also comments, as to OB heads, they are like any other post in that you can appoint any general based solely on seniority. However, they are special in that only Kesselring in the southern front and von Manstein in the eastern front can affect combats as OB heads. And solo play, an OB post has a double use. Other than affecting combat, it helps you reduce unrest, which is useful in itself. I wasn't quite sure where the reduce unrest bit comes from, but when you play the card, it reduces unrest. So I don't know if it's that or if there's something additional to that. But I wasn't, I just felt I wanted to add something more to that. So I replied to Carlos regarding that point. Okay, so to be sure, let's say we appoint Adolf Strauss. Now, have I got him in play at the moment? Yeah, I do. So Adolf Strauss. So let's say we appoint him as an OB, in one of the OBs, right? Right, what happened? Right, we appoint him as an OB head. Then what I'm thinking he's saying is his combat ability won't apply. Even though it says attacking in any terrain, if we were attacking in any terrain, he's an OB. That doesn't count, I think. I found that a little confusing. However, I did highlight the fact that, okay, I realised on page 26 I said that there's an important note, important notes are kind of important, where it says only Kesselring and von Manstein may affect combat when in command of OB South and OB East respectively. And it's just in that little important note that it says that. So I suppose I was just wanting to be sure that was the case, and this guy's ability couldn't be used at all. I know it says on Kesselring, it talks about him being in the OB box. My guess is that Von Manstein it maybe does the same as well. I did sort of say that I personally still find this could be explained better in the rules. This could, however, just be me. You know, I mean, it does highlight it there in that important part, but that's the only bit it talks about it. You know, I think it should have been maybe talked about more in the OB section, maybe, of the rules. But again, maybe it's just me. Okay, so I'll leave that at that. And then he also adds that it removes the available general from the pile, which may block you using lower seniority generals. And I'm starting to see this. This game is, I think I talked about already. There was a couple of 5 seniority generals I wanted to use, and I couldn't because it was either a 7 or a 6. Now, I've only got a couple of 7s left. In fact, maybe only 1 7 left. If I can get rid of that 7, put them somewhere else, or use them for a combat, then I get access to the 5s, and that's kind of important. So as I replied to that with, yeah, good point. I'm starting to see that whittling away some of these higher seniority generals would be a big help. He also mentions about Egypt. Egypt is included in the Middle East Military Directive because you can use it during the summer and advance 4 sectors. This can take you all the way from El Alamein to Damascus. So, right, okay, I see. So you could attack in here and advance the second one into there. Is that right? And then attack in there and advance the second one into there. That's where it says take it all the way to Damascus. Okay, would you start in... Oh no. Sorry, they go in the lower ones, don't they? So it goes from there to that way, doesn't it? So attack into there. No, that's not an extra advance into there, though, is it? Yeah, attack in there. And then the next operations phase, attack in there. And so, hang on, does that link to that? Egypt is included in the Middle East Military Directive because you can use it during the summer and advance 4 sectors. This can take you all the way from El Alamein right, so it does go that way. I'm getting baffled again. We take the highest slots, but then if we start in there, so we take you all the way from El Alamein to Damascus. So going that way. Grant, yeah. Okay, I'm starting, and I says I'm starting to understand these things a bit more, but I think I replied that it is a more complex game than I first thought. I misspelled that. And this is by no means a negative to me anyway, as I like my games that way. You know, and it is, and there's quite a lot of thinky bits in it. Yeah, and I think I was talking also, maybe when I just got dragged away there, that there's a lot of little rules, and this isn't, like I say, this isn't a bad thing. I'm not saying anything bad about this, but there's a lot of little rules that could catch you out. That one about Von Reichenau, you know, I'm only kind of thinking, right, he's getting an extra die. I mean, it's clearly on the card, don't get me wrong, it's not unclear, but it can catch you out. The other one that can catch you out I'm about to talk about as well, which is a mistake, which I'm going to find rather awkward to fix, but I'm just going to make the best I can out of it. There was also, what was the other? Oh yeah, the combat in the winter, when you don't get the benefit from the extra dice, is quite a rule. You know, I could see you compiling quite a few things, you know how some people do that, like easily forgotten rules, compiling a list of quite a few things just to try and bring it to your memory more. Like I say, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that there are a few in this game like that, and you know, there can be a few in lots of games that are like that, you know. Okay, so the other big thing, I might end up missing a few comments here, I'm not sure. You do not need to... No, I've read that one. There was also a little bit to and fro between Martin and Carlos regarding this whole movement through the strategic... movement from one front to the other and moving on. And they were having a little chat about that. If you want, it's on my YouTube thread if you want to... There was a couple more comments about it, about what Martin felt a little strange, and I think Carlos understood a bit, and it gave an explanation to how it was what it was. But anyway, right. So well, there's two other things to talk about. The first one, and this is a mistake, and it's strange. Just as I move the satellite army into the strategic movement box and down in here, I actually talk about not being able to move them strategically into the, these front. They can't go in the western front or the southern front strategically. So the only way for me to get satellite units through here is to come through northern Italy. But that's sort of what I was doing. But what I did was, I took, with strategic movement, there was two of these in here, and I took this from here to here, strategically move it into here, and then strategically moving it back into there. So the next time my movement, I could then cross across into there. But this strategic movement from there to there isn't allowed. You can only strategically move satellite armies to the eastern front. So that wasn't allowed. So what we ended up with these two satellite armies in here, and there should only be one. Now I moved one of the the reduced armies, strategically moved it into there once I'd put that satellite army into here. This is the best fix I'm going to make on this, and I've looked over it quite a lot, trying to see if there was any movement that I could adjust before, but the movement points I had were only 2 in the eastern front, and I don't think I could find a way where I could say, right, what I would have done was this, that, and the next thing. So I'm going to put this back. So he was the one that strategically moved from there to there, which was illegal. So I'm just going to put him back here in Romania and Bulgaria, right? Now, that means that I can't leave this empty because it's a partisan, we control it. This one I'm fine about moving because he just moved from there to there. He was fine. So what I'm going to do is take one of these reduced armies back and just put that in there. Just until I can hope. I mean, the idea was for me to just leave satellite armies in each of these so that I can use the other armies. You can see they go up in order. The yellow's the poorest, the white's slightly better, the grey's better, and the black's the best. We've worked that out a while back, So I'll just leave that as a fix. I thought I was going to find a better way to do it, but because I messed about here and moved stuff into Yugoslavia, because we're going to have this attack in Yugoslavia, I did think, well, what I could have done was move that one into there and leave that with just 3 armies. But I thought, nah, let's just go back, leave them back there. Now, it probably meant I had some more strategic movement points left over in that last movement phase, which was just the last phase, actually. But we'll just leave that at that. Okay. Right, one last comment, and I had to go and ask a question about this. And this was from Martin on part 16, 53-minute mark. He says, when you move from one front to another, don't you have to start adjacent? And I was like, oh, right, I never really thought about it. So I'm guessing, if I look at the 53-minute mark, my guess is I've moved something from, was it possibly from here to here? Well, what he's saying is, let's say I want to move an army from here, and then what I do is I move it into there, and then I move it into there. Well, I didn't start adjacent that way. So he's saying that he feels like that you should start from adjacent. I mean, he could be right. The rule says that you may move armies from one area in a front to an adjacent area in a different front with an Axis control disk. So that means that would be illegal for me to move from there to there with that Panzer army, right? That's completely clear. But however, the way it's written still, I still sort of feel that there's nothing to say that I can't go to like that. Because this move is not moving to the other front, it's just moving into there. And then I'm adjacent. So then that move then moves it into the other front. So it could have a point. It could be that it's... If that is the case, then I think the wording should be a bit clearer. But then Martin's seeing it that way and saying that he feels that shouldn't be allowed, whereas I'm reading it and finding that I can see your point, but I could also see that being okay the way it's written. So but sometimes the way I read things isn't right. So anyway, I popped a question out there, and unfortunately, I haven't had a response. Well, the only response I got was I just got a response just now from SAS Lord, and he was like, "I thought you could only move from front to front strategically," but I highlighted that rule that we've just read, which seems clear to me that you can do it. You just need to be adjacent. But again, do you have to start adjacent? You know, or does that not matter? I sort of feel like I'm okay with that one. But if the designer comes back and says, no, you do need to start adjacent to be able to make that move, then fair enough, that's a problem. And, well, whether I can go back and fix the move that I made with that, I'm not so sure. But at least then I'll know that I can't do it in the future. But anyway, thanks for your comments. There's a few other comments. There's a guy been watching back from the beginning, making some comments here and there, some thoughts on maybe what would have been a better idea and the likes, but I'll not go into all of them. They're on the YouTube thread anyway. He did mention something about one that I wasn't sure about, so I might need to, I said that to him, but he was going to come back. He maybe come back with some reply on that. Okay. I think that's that. That's that, is it? Yeah, because I want to get a part done here. I should have time, just enough time for a part, and then that'll be it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it for now. Okay. Right, so we're on the command phase. Yeah, and I think we've only got, I think we do have a vacancy. Yeah, we've got a vacancy here. And nothing's changed with me moving anything back, is it? No, I mean, I put that reduced army back, but there's still only one army in there, so there's no vacancy there. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. So the vacancy's got to be filled. One of the highest available, and of course von Bock was the one that came out of where were they? Was it Belgium, Holland? We had him. So he's the highest sitting available right now. He's got seniority of 9. He's okay to have. I want to get some stuff good. I might be as well just putting him in. I mean, we could look through the activated or in command with a seniority higher than, equal to or higher than that. There's not going to be anybody activated at a 9. So I'd be looking through the generals that I've got out. So I think I'm just going to put von Bock back in there. So he's going to become in command again. And I've got his markers here still. I didn't put it far because I thought he might be coming back. So we put him in there. And that is that. There's nothing else. Let's say nothing else to fill. These are good. There's only one army in there. This one's okay. These are satellite armies, so they don't count. Von Lieb we left in there. We've still got the 2 armies in there, and yeah, that's that. So yeah, I had one other comment to talk about was the fact that actually, can I not bring that up? Hang on. Yeah, I think there's no name to this. Jay's. I don't think he's got an actual name written anywhere. He says that he must have been watching along. I think he's been quite enjoying what he's. I think he mentioned it was he was quite enjoying it. I know nothing about the game, but if you spend on unscripted invasions of Turkey and Spain, you should have a late, underpowered Barbarossa or a very tough USSR in 42. A good game will reflect this. Looking forward to 42! Exclamation mark. Yes, and I mean, yes, a good game will reflect this, assuming it's meant to follow the history accurately, and it's trying to do that. Now, we've changed history already. We've invaded Spain. We've invaded Turkey. I know Spain wasn't invaded. I'm pretty sure Turkey wasn't as well. But so we've done it that way, and this is where we're seeing our problems, because now we're going to have to defend these as well as either start the invasion of the USSR or have to defend against a strong USSR. I mean, yes, I'm pretty sure as you look at the card, let's just look at the top combat card here in the discard pile. Okay, this isn't really reflecting things that well, but well, even look, 1941 they're getting 2 dice on defense. 1942 they're getting 4. So there right away is something that's going to be harder. I'm pretty sure the second card is probably a better example. That's in the discard pile. Again, they're defending with 3. They're defending with 4, and they're also having an instant. That's an instant reduction before they even roll the 4 dice. So you can see that 41, 42, and even on the attack, they're attacking with 3 dice and 41, and they're attacking with 4 there, and I want to say that's a satellite surrender, which means you surrender a satellite army. So yes, it looks like the cards are going to, and I'm expecting this to happen, and yeah, but I mean maybe part of the reason well, it's probably not, but I mean maybe a bit of the reason that I've done it this way is because I didn't really want to follow it all scripted like that. You know, I mean, Martin did remind me again, like I've said before, about the different variation you can make at the beginning of the game if you want to go down that road. Well, I didn't do that, but I have changed the way things have gone, and we're not going to be invading USSR in 1941. It's going to have to be 1942 if we're going to do it. And a friend at work actually mentioned, which he knows a bit more about this than me, that apparently it was late. They were a bit late in going into in 1941 in the summer. Maybe it should have been in the spring, or maybe not the winter, but maybe the spring. I don't know. I don't know what he was meaning by that, but I think he knew more about it than me anyway. So whether that was something that people believed would have been a better chance for the Germans or not, I don't know. But yes, I know I'm gonna be up against it here, but I'm just want to play the game and enjoy it. You know, it doesn't have. I'm not going to do everything strategically perfect, and there's die rolls here that can go with you or go against you. That's what these games are for, eh? So, right, okay, where was we've done our command. Is that it? I think so. Yeah, so done our command. So now we are in our Axis offensive, right? Okay, so we've only got one. Actually, this is when we place a pawn. Yeah, we've got one card, and we place the combat pawn in area 3 on that card, which is Yugoslavia. Right, so combat pawn placed. And yeah, starting a combat resolution. So we're going to draw one combat card. There's only 3 or 4 left. So Allies, Western faction defending in 1942. Oh, it's a 3. That's a 3. Not good. So defending in 1942. That right? No, 1941. Yeah, we're in 1941. Yeah, I'm thinking about. Yeah, the Soviet bit that I was looking at. So 1941, but it's 41, 42 are the same for the Western faction. So they're getting 3 in defence. So we'll put that card back there. So they're getting 3 dice. So now we've got to assign our generals. There's no OB head. Who have we got? We've got von Rundstedt. So we're attacking into Belgrade. So attacking into Rough. Oh dear, right then. Von Rundstedt. So, right, he's not any good then. Attacking into Plains is going to be the only help we're getting from him. So he's not any good. So now we need to assign a leading general from either the highest or the second highest. So 7 on. Yeah, see, this is the thing. I've still got this 1-7 here. Whereas right now, if he was either in command or being activated, then we would be able to get. Well, in fact, I might actually be using them. Attacking into Rough. We would be able to access the 5s, because then the next one, the highest, is 6. Right, so 7 or a 6. We can't use the 5s just yet, but well, is that not telling you? Because you do have another offensive to come in the summer, and you've got a fall as well. So I think we will be just using the list. If there's at least one regular Panzer army in the combat area, cancel the additional allied die roll for rough terrain. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to be doing him. I mean, look at... Oh, actually, hang on. He's an option 2. Oh, hang on. Only in Denmark, Norway. See, he's not any good in Denmark, Norway. I'm assuming he can still be an in-command general, but he's only going to activate his ability if he's in Denmark or Norway. Which is he's kind of useless now, isn't he? Of course, we've attacked. I mean, unless we were to go back and attack again when they took some of the territory back, maybe. But right, okay, I'm going to use Willem List. So it's the guy that's seniority 7, and now our top seniority number is 6, which means we can access the 6s and the 5s for the leading general side of things. So he, against any faction attacking in a Roth, if there is at least one regular Panzer army in the combat area, which there is, cancel the additional allied die for the rough terrain. So that's who we're going to use. So we're going to cancel their extra die. So that's us. There was no special effects, so we're going to roll the allied dice. Right, so what is it? There are 3 dice they're getting, and although they're defending in rough, because of our general that's attacking says they're not going to get that extra die, so there's no +1s and all that. Right, okay, so they're getting 3 dice, so let's roll theirs first. Yeah, that guy that was making some comments, he said that these should be done in this order. I think he was all for that as well. I mean, I've been through that before, and the designer made comments on that as well, saying that it generally doesn't make a huge bit of difference. Technically, yes, was his first reply. You know, should you roll the allied combat dice first, then your dice? And technically, yes, was the reply. And that's all I needed really, was that. Anyway, right, so 3 Western dice. Okay, here we go. Yeah, the air naval, sorry, I should have just double checked that. It's the way up there. It's at 2, so there was another risky one if we'd got them having an aircraft roll first, and then they might have got that down and got the extra dice. But anyway, we're not getting an extra dice there. We've got a floating object there. So yeah, just the 3 dice for them. Right, let's do it. And we're rolling 4. Well, let's just see what they get. Oh my. That's not good. We've not got that card anymore. Oh dear. Right then. So that is 3 hits. Right, well, we're guaranteed 1, but okay. So over to us now. I wonder, should we consider our paratroops then? What are we getting? We're getting a black, a grey, a white and a yellow. So 1 of each. We know the black's a hit. Now, where are we attacking? We're attacking it in rough, so tank symbols are not going to do us any good. The grey dice is almost guaranteed a hit. Now, the white dice is going to be less so. And the yellow dice, my guess is, yeah, even less so. And we really want 4 hits here. If we get 3 against 3 when we're attacking, yeah, we get a reduction. Maybe we call in the paratroops then. I mean, I would have liked to have kept them, but yeah, probably going to have combats later on in the game that I'd like to use them. Well, maybe we could get lucky with the die roll and they might still stay around. I feel like I need another dice here. I mean, the thing is, the result... Where are we here? So, it doesn't matter how many hits we get less than them. It's just one reduction, and you flip the leading general to questioned. Right, is that right then? Let's see the outcome. Combat results. Land combat. Axis is the attacker. If the number of hits from the Axis combat roll is equal to or lower than the number of hits from the Allied combat roll, defeat. Apply one reduction to one army that participated in the combat. Flip the leading general's marker to its question side. Boo. So, I mean, it doesn't matter. If they beat us by 3 hits to 1, so we say if we get a terrible roll, then it's still the same result. But we need to get 4 hits here, or we'll lose it, or it's a defeat. I think maybe I do call in the paratroops then. I think so. I mean, calling the paratroops isn't going to guarantee us it either, but it's going to give us a slightly better chance. I mean, because right now I need to roll all these as hits. Whereas if I call the paratroops, I'm getting 1 extra grey dice. Yeah, I'm going to do it. So we're going to use the paratroops. Where are we here? It's not winter, and we're on the attack. That was the other thing that's kind of not highlighted in the cards there. So it says, if the Axis is an attacker and the current season is not winter, the head of operations may choose to use paratroops, provided the paratroop marker is on its track. Add 1 grey combat die roll. Right, so the paratroop marker is on its track. Right, so we'll deal with that in a second. So we're going to add an additional grey die now. So we've got 1 black, 2 grey, 1 white and 1 yellow. Right, so I hope this makes it worthwhile. Right, so here's the combat first. Now hang on, or do we deal with the paratroops bit first? Add 1 grey combat die to the Axis combat roll. Then the head of operations rolls 1d6. Right, well, we'll just deal with the paratroops bit first. So we're wanting the paratroops marker is in the adjacent to the 3. So ideally, I think we're going to roll a 3 here. So if the result is higher than the 3, we remove the marker from the game. That's it, done. If it's lower than the number, we move it down to the 1 and it's still there. But this is the ideal result. If the result equals a number, it stays in its place. So we want to roll a 3 here. If it's not a 3, we want a 1 or a 2. Right, here we go. Okay, well, we got the 1. So it's lower than the number. So that means that drops. So we're going to get 1 more use out of that. Maybe if we get really lucky. Or hang on. Yeah, we need to roll a 1 next time for it to work. Right, okay, so that gives us that extra grey die, so we've done it now. Right, it better be worth the while. Or we'll not be happy. Right, we want 4 hits. We've got them. Oh, yes, the yellow dice didn't produce. We've got the 4 hits. Excellent. So I'm happy with that, because it would have been annoying to have used the paratroopers and not got the result, right? So, oops, it's getting a wee bit wild there. A bit windy again. Right, there is the result. Remember, the combat is in rough, so the tanks don't give us anything extra, but there's 4 hits to 3 hits. That comes away. No events. Excellent. Right, made it all worthwhile. So we advance, take Belgrade, that goes away. That goes away in there. Hang on, I better shut this window, I think. Right, so to Belgrade, that goes away. We now occupy Yugoslavia. The good thing about that is they can't attack back there, eh? Yeah, So we're not. We can get these armies out of there as partisan, but yeah, we don't need to hold the armies in there. So we've done the dice roll. We can take them away. I think that's everything, isn't it? We use the paratroops, but fair enough. They got a really good die roll. We got greater than advance if the next sector's playing well. There's no next sector. You got to remember though that if there was another connection, and that's what I think Carlos was talking about down in Egypt in the Middle East. But the next sector attached to from Yugoslavia and Belgrade is Romania, Bulgaria. So if this was Western controlled, we could advance into here, but it's not. So, yeah, I think that's right. Anyway, okay, so we've done our attack. Yeah, right. So that was done. That's all done. Yeah, and we'll see what happens regarding the. Right, so combat card can go away. Von Rundstedt goes back to the in command, and we get rid of List now this time. But he did help us there actually. We didn't get the extra dice. So now our pile of available generals, the highest seniority is a 6. So that's good. Right, done with the Axis offensive. Right, now we're on the Western offensive. Which is, remember, we're going to get 2 waves of this as well because it's the summer. Okay, so landings again, there's no landings marker, so we can move on. Right, combat pawns, right. I think we had 4 the last time, so what have we got here? Right, well, Spain's got 1, right? Now, hang on. Is there any disputed? There is. So we got 1 down here in Libya. It's disputed. I'd like to get that done in that order. Then we're looking for Western controlled adjacent to Axis controlled. So 1's there. Great Britain isn't connected. And then we've got the ones down here as well, haven't we? So we've got Turkey and Middle East. Yeah, it's the same 4, I think, isn't it? Like I say, West taking Yugoslavia there. There's no Western adjacent to Yugoslavia anyway. And the Soviets aren't involved yet, so we don't need to look into them. So that's a 4. Right, we don't have this is at 4 this time anyway, so it's not that we need to sort of decide what's best first. Well, let's just go for the Western Front one there. Air naval controls at 3, so let's just do Spain first then. Okay, so draw a combat card. Right, so here we go. We'll have to shuffle these up shortly. There's only 1 more left after this. So combat card is Western faction attacking in 1941. Right, we've got a plane symbol and an event symbol. So no combat. I'm not sure. I think we do the event. I don't know if that matters here, to be honest. Yeah, you resolve the special effects. Well, I don't know. Does it not say? I mean, they're all in the special effects section, so. Event resolution. But that's a combat event resolution, isn't it? 6.5. It must be, because this is not what's happening right now. Combat event resolution. Yeah, okay. So we can. It doesn't matter what order we do these in. So we're going to roll 1 air dice to see if they get a hit on our air naval control. Remember, just an aircraft will do it. Ah, damn it, they get it. Okay, so it's in the Western Front. They hit us for 1 on the air naval control. Right, and then we're also then going to draw a strategic event. Let's see what we get. Right, Right, we've got the misfortune again. Scorched Earth, however, if the USSR is not at war, that's another resource value -1. See? It's not good. These are going to... Because it's not that these are getting discarded right now. I was all happy and thinking, oh, that's not going to happen. That's great. But it's going to come. So if the USSR is not at war, this goes down... this goes into the next year as well. I suppose... Yeah, we're keeping our resources just now, whereas if we hadn't started Barbarossa, our resources would have been knocked down twice now already. Well, depending on the order of the cards. And generals might have been getting hit as well there. So we ignore that, and this goes in the next year's box set of cards. Okay, and that's it. That was all that was on the combat card, so that gets discarded. That's us resolved things in Spain. So, right, well, I'm just going to start from top to bottom. I don't think it's going to matter too much. So let's just go for Turkey. So combat card. This is the last one, so I'll need to shuffle up after this. Combat 1942. 41. Their attack is 2 aircraft. So this is for the southern front. This time they roll 2 dice looking for aircraft symbols, and they do indeed get 1. So you can see this is what happens. It bashes about a bit on that side of things. So that gets dropped down to 3. However, that's all that was on that combat card. That comes away. That was the last combat card, so I'm going to shuffle these off camera. Give me a second. Alright, so that's shuffled up. Right, let's just go for Middle East next then. So we're going to draw a combat card. 1941. Right, it's going to be attack this time. In Middle East as well. Well, we split these to so they're the same strength. So it's an aircraft and then 2 dice for combat, right? So hang on to the roll. Why can I not get all this sorted? Yeah, we do. Once we know that there's going to be a combat, we do our generals. Okay. Well, the good thing about this is we've got our OB Sud, haven't we? We've got Kesselring. So we've got Kesselring, and we've got Von Weeks in the Middle East. So let's get them looked at. I guess just you find that they're all against. Well, Kesselring's defending and rough. Well, that's not any good then. It's defending and rough. We're defending in plains, so not good. And you see what happened the last time we were in plains, and they rolled them in 2 tanks, didn't they? Right, who else do we need? Von Weeks. He's attacking in rough, so he's not any good either. So we're now looking for a leading general that is defending in plains. Now we're getting access to the 5s now, so this is good. Oh, there's a lot more. So I think this is something we should have targeted and got down to, because it looks like we've got an option here. Right, let me have a wee look. Right, so our options, we've got a lot. I actually can use Rommel this time. There's defending in any, and it's in the Middle East. So 1 German areas considered of the immediate superior type, and then if it's not a defeat, remember, if it's not a defeat, as long as we get a, what is it? Oh, I can't remember the name. What are they getting? Is it 2 dice or 3 they're getting? I think it's 2, isn't it? They're going to get a roll on our air naval, but that's only going to take it down to 2 at worst case scenario. And then they're only getting 2 dice. So if we use Rommel, we're guaranteed 2 hits, because that becomes... Actually, do we get to choose? It does say 1 German army in the area is considered of the immediately superior type. So we're guaranteed not a defeat, so Rommel would get put back, but we might end up with a draw. Anyway, there's others. We've got Model. Cancel any special effect in the combat card. See, now this is, we've seen what's in the combat card, so that would cancel the aircraft roll. I don't think that's really helping us though. That one is roll 1 grey die instead of 1 yellow die, and that's his combat roll. Well, we've not got a yellow die, so he's not any good. This one is a controller player may change any one result in a grey die for a tank result. Ooh, well that's good because we know it's in planes. So any grey die, yeah, I've forgotten that we're in. If they happen to roll 2 tanks here, that's 4 hits. Jeez, that's wild out there. Wild out there. Oh, where that's come from. Anyway. Right, and this last one is in plane, defending in planes. The controlling player may change 1 grey hit result for 1 tank result. So that's a wee bit. So I'm not sure here. The thing is there more than 1 tank symbol? Oh, there is. There's 2 tank symbols on the Panzer dice, on the black die. Oh, no, it's 3. We should use Rommel, shouldn't we? Yeah, I'm going to use Rommel because we can't lose here. And then what I'm going to do is that grey regular army is going to be a Panzer army. Yeah, that's what we're doing. So we're having Rommel because I know I can't fail. I mean, we could end up with a draw. It's a what is it again? If we draw, what's it called? Axis Defender. Oh, it's not telling me the. Well, I can't get the word here. Wait a minute, I'm determined to find that. Axis Defender. Attrition. That's what I'm trying to find. Attrition. Right, okay, so I'm going to use. Oh. I think that's hailstones. They're coming to summer in Scotland. Right. I'll put these back. We're going to use Rommel. We're going for it. Right, so remember this is considered a Panzer army then. Okay. Right, okay, so that's our generals selected. So we've got 1 aircraft and then 2 dice for them. So we do the 1 aircraft result. Now the other generals weren't helping us, were they? No, they weren't. So 1 aircraft, hoping for not an aircraft. Oh man. I don't think the dice are going well for us here. Right, so that gets reduced again. They're still in front, isn't it? Yeah, by 1. So it's down to 2. So now into the combat, they're rolling 2 dice. Remember, it's in planes, so we don't really see any tanks. Right, we've got an aircraft and an event. It's going to hit our air again, isn't it? Well, we need to roll our dice first. So 2 black. Remember that grey's been upgraded to black, so it's 2 black and a white. 2 black and a white. So they've not even got a hit on us this time. When we end up with like 2 black dice. We're not really getting the breaks here, I think, with the dice. Right, so that's 1, 2, 3 hits, isn't it? So I'll take the blank away. And no, I'm not getting the luck of the roll, I don't think, because we were guaranteed to be. Well, no, I mean, if they had 2 tanks had come up there, Grant, you would have been panicking, wouldn't you? In fact, 2 tanks had come up there would have beat you. So maybe there's something in that. Anyway, we've got 3 hits, they've got no hits. So we resolve. Hang on. No, they were attacking us. We were defending in the planes. Yeah, that's fine. So, so combat event resolution. We've got to resolve 1 combat event. So let's do that. New tanks. Oh, that's bad. That's the one we're trying to. We can get stopped, but we've not got it at the moment. So if the Tiger and Panther project has been completed, It's not. In fact, we've not started that one, have we? That's the one USSR is at war. Oh, we're getting away with it, yeah, because USSR is not at war. So if Tiger Panther project has been completed, then we just discard this card. But it's not. However, if the USSR is not at war, which it is not at war, this is going to go in the next year. But you can see that Wehrmacht replacements value -1. Then it goes in the next year. So that's why you want that Tiger and Panther resolved. This goes next year though. You cancel. It doesn't look at the unique event or any recurring events. So we're okay, we're getting away with that. So these are things we're getting away with not starting Barbarossa. So that's a plus. Right, so that's that event done. Then we've got an air hat. Sorry, hang on, I've jumped on there. So again, this is getting knocked down now. It's down at the 1. Oh no, that means Libya. They're going to get an extra dice in Libya. Oh, that was silly. See, and there's the reason that I should have done Libya first. Because they've got a weaker set of armies, and now the Western Allies are going to get an extra white dice. An extra dice. So that gets taken away. They have no hits. We've got hits. Yeah, it does us nothing. No, I mean it means that nothing happens, but it does us nothing. Right, let's get this finished. This could be bad then. So, final one in Libya. Sorry, just before we do, remember we succeeded in the combat, so it says there, if the combat result is not a defeat, the player may move this card back to the available deck. So Rommel's going back to available, and Kesselring and von Weichs go back to in command. This combat card goes away. Right, so now we're on to Libya. Draw a combat card. I'm really hoping this is not a combat. 1941. Oh no, it is. So 1941, they're going to attack. 1 aircraft, 2 dice, which is going to turn into 3 dice. We're in a bit of trouble here, I think. Right, okay. Generals wise, again we've got Kesselring. Are we defending in rough? Oh, we are. Good. Yeah, of course, we were defending rough, so we were getting an extra white dice, but it's going to be a grey dice now. Excellent. Right, that might help. So, Kesselring and... Oh no, we've not got an AG head. Yeah, because no 2 German armies. Right, we need somebody to help here. Can Rommel not help Libya? No, I'm guessing maybe. Can he? He can. Do we want him though? I would upgrade that to a Panzer army. Mind you, when you play a Rommel, you don't want to get a defeat. So what they're going to roll 2, but remember, they're going to get an extra 1. So they're rolling 3 dice. It's not in plane, so we don't need to worry about tanks. So the most hits they can get is 3. If I turn that into black, that's a guaranteed hit. We're going to roll 1 additional grey dice. And then you've got 2 yellow dice. Yeah, let me have a look at some of the other generals, just in case. Oh, hang on. Have they got an aircraft? So what happens is that's at a 1. I don't think it can go any below. Yeah, I don't think the fact that they've got an aircraft thing there and we're at 1 on that front, I don't think I even need to roll that. I'm pretty sure that's right. Right, you need to get wrapped up your grant, run out of time, so hang on. Right, okay, well we know what Rommel does. I was going to say, could he change the satellite army to a... I don't think so, eh? No. It says that there are 1 German army in the area is considered immediately superior type. Right, so that would be that. But I'll tell you what, these 2 guys maybe look better. That one can be defending in any. Roll 1 grey die instead of 1 yellow die. So, and remember, we're rolling a grey die extra as well, so we'd have 3 grey die. I think he's more tempting. And then this one, add 1 white die to the combat roll, defending and rough against the Western faction. So just add a white die. I think this guy's better. So we'll be rolling 3 grey and a yellow die with that. And they're going to be rolling 3 dice. Is that right? Right. I don't know. I'm sort of wondering if maybe we should have Rommel. There's a better chance of a tank. No, it's in rough, Grant. It's in rough. No, right, okay, I'm going to go with this guy. Roll 1 grey die instead of 1 yellow die, and that's his combat roll. Right, and that's that. Right, so they do have their air, but let me just double check. I don't think I need to roll this. Let me just double check. This is a special effect. Roll indicate number of Western dice. If at least 1 aircraft roll, -1 aircraft. Right, let me see that in the rules. This may affect the number of Axis dice. If the air naval control value in the combat's front is 1, there is no effect. Right, so I'm not even going to roll that dice because it can only be an aircraft result that has an effect, and that's going to have no effect. So I'm not going to roll it. Okay. So now they're going to roll 2 dice. However, because they've got their naval control value at 1, that's going to increase it to 3. So they're rolling 3 dice. Here we go. Oh, that's bad because that's going to count as a hat. That's going to be 3 hats. Oh, I thought that was looking okay at first. And then because we've got our air naval control at 1, I'm pretty sure that's going to count as a hat. Yeah, if the air naval control value is 1, that counts as a hat. That's 3 hats. Right, what we getting? We're defending in rough. So we're getting 1 grey, and it would be 2 yellow. However, this guy turns 1 of the yellows grey. So that's 2 grey and a yellow. And then because we're defending in rough, we get an extra white dice, but because of Kessel Ring, that turns that into a grey. So that's what we're getting, I believe. And we need 4 hits. They've got 3 hits. Right, here we go. Come on then. That's horrific. That is horrific. Oh, disaster in Libya. Right. So we've got 1 hat, 2 events, and a nothing. Oh my. Well, we could do with some events helping us here because we're in trouble here, I think. Right, that goes away. That's doing nothing. We've not got any rerolls or anything like that. So they're sitting at 3 hits. We're sitting at 1. Right, we've got 2 events. So let's do the combat events. I need to quickly wrap this up now. Right, first combat event. Anti-communist volunteers. Replace 1 reduced army in the East Front with 1 regular army from the force pool. If this is not possible, it goes in the next year box. Replace 1 reduced army in the East Front with 1 regular. Well, I'll be able to do that. So our East Front options are, well, Yugoslavia, Poland, or Hungary. Is there any point? Does it help us putting it in Yugoslavia right now? Right now we're losing this battle by 2. So we're going to have to for every hit difference. So hang on, there's 3, there. Yeah, we're going to take 2. Either, well, a combination of retreats or I don't want to retreat. I'm going to take 2. Oh, sorry, I'm thinking Yugoslavia. It's no Yugoslavia. It's down here, Libya. The problem is, if we take 2 reductions, we're going to lose a satellite army, because the reductions, the way they go is you do the grey to the white, and then I've got white and 2 yellows, and the next priority is eliminate a yellow. Oh, it's just horrible. Okay. Well, I can't put it in there anyway, so that doesn't matter. So, well, I'm just going to put in Yugoslavia then. So this gets upgraded by this. Because of that combat event. That goes back in the force pool. That's the first of the 2 events, and then this now just gets discarded. Right, and then that's the first of the event. Second event, combat event. Needs to be something really good. When leased to the USSR. If the USSR is not at war, this goes to the next year. Right, well, let's just go in the next year, innit? Let's not bother reading it. I don't really have the time to find out what badness is going to do. Right, that's our 2 events. That was 1. I took the 1 away already. There's the second 1 away. So the result is 3 hits to them, 1 to us. We've got a deficit of 2. And this is going to get ugly, isn't it? So 2 hits. Right, I don't really want our Kesselring getting... Mind you, he does have a 6 as his thing, so maybe I shouldn't worry about that too much. He's whatever that's meant again. So 1 reduction or 1 retreat for every hit in the difference. So we need to do 2 of these. And I don't want to lose the satellite army, so I think we've got to retreat, which is not good. So I'm going to retreat. Remember, we've not got an AG head. So if 1 retreat or 2 reductions, flip activated head of AG and leading general to questioned. Yeah, if more than 1 retreat or 2 reductions, yeah, so I'm not going to do that. And if I take the 2 reductions, no. Right, I'm going to do 1 retreat and 1 reduction. Right, and because of that, if 1 retreat or 2 reductions applied, I flip the activated head of AG, well, we've not got one, and the leading general to question. So this guy here, which I'm not going to use. Oh, that was handy. I just spotted it. There it is. Von Schubert, is it? He's going to be quest. Oh, he's got a 2. He's not that bad as well. That's the thing, I've got to roll a 2 or less for him to stay in play. But, what can you do? It's either that... Oh, I don't know, I don't think I can avoid it, can I? 1 retreat or 2 reductions. Yeah, I had 2 to deal with. So he's going to go question. I'm just going to put him in the box there. Hopefully I'll remember that. Well, this guy's been activated, so I'm going to put his card up there as well. I dare say I might start doing things differently once these start getting more and more questioned. But fortunately, Kesselring, our OB head, he would only be questioned if more than 1 retreat or 2 reductions applied. So there was only 1 retreat and 1 reduction, so he's okay still. So he goes back in there. He'll get checked in the command phase. That's that combat over. That goes away. That was horrible. That's done. And you can see how I blundered there by I should have got this combat done first so that there was no risk of them getting that extra dice. And that extra dice made all the difference there. Yeah, nasty. Okay, I need to get off, I'm afraid. So that was the Western Offensive. We'll move on. Well, there's nothing in the Soviet Offensive. I'll just leave it there with the military. No, it was Yugoslavia we're doing, yeah. It wasn't Middle East. Sorry, Libya. There's nothing to do with Libya. Right, I'll leave it there and get back maybe tomorrow, next day, whatever, when I'm back. Okay, cheers.